Hello there everybody, welcome to Nogard's Kitchen. Today we're going to learn how to make a simple tuna recipe. To make this tuna recipe, we first have to prepare the marinade in which we're going to put the tuna. So I'm going to be making 3 loaves for this tuna, so I'm going to be making 3 times the recipe. But the recipe goes 1 tablespoon of everything. That everything is balsamic vinegar. Remember, I'm making 3, so I'm putting 3 tablespoons instead of 1 of everything. Tablespoon of soy sauce, a tablespoon of either peanut oil or regular oil. I prefer peanut oil because of the flavor it gives the tuna. Tablespoon of vinegar, white vinegar, and a tablespoon of honey. We're also going to need around a tablespoon of garlic. For the garlic, peel it, cut the edges. And we mince it. We add our garlic to our marinade. We add our garlic to our marinade. And also around a tablespoon of onion. Once everything is in, we mix well. Now our tuna loaves, since it is not tuna season, I don't have fresh tuna, but I have frozen tuna. So we thaw it out overnight in the refrigerator. Take each loaf out carefully. And what we're going to do now, season the tuna with salt and pepper on both sides. Normally you always want your dry rubs touching the skin of your meat. And for the final step, we have to add our tunas to the marinade. I like using Ziploc bags because it's easy to keep them in there, and the marinade surrounds them completely. So we add everything in there. We had plus our marinade we just prepared. There we go. in there. Now what we're gonna do, put our tunas inside, seal it almost all the way up, and get rid of as much air as you can. Pressing on it gently. And now, finish closing it up and mix it well. And we're gonna refrigerate this for an hour. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat up a pan with enough oil so it doesn't stick, because what we want is, since tuna is a fish that has a lot of flavor when it's raw, and it starts losing flavor and water as you cook it, we don't really want to cook our tuna that much. So I'm going to show you two ways to cook it if you don't like raw fish. One of them is I'm just going to sear it and let the center be warm, and the other one is I'm going to cook it. Nothing's going to be raw, everything's going to be cooked, but it's going to be just before it starts drying out. So we heat up our pan. So first, I have here my tunas. They've been marinating in the refrigerator. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook the first tuna, the one that's gonna be completely cooked but not dry. So I'm grabbing a pan in order, since the oil is gonna jump, I don't want to make a mess. So first, we want to make sure no onion and garlic is left on the tuna. We want it to be as clean as possible, and we're gonna put the tuna on the biggest side on the pan. Make sure to get oil underneath it so it doesn't stick. And we put our lid. There you go. It's not sticking anymore. And once I flip this tuna, I'm going to put my other tunas, the ones that I'm just going to sear. So you can see here at the bottom how it starts cooking, how it starts changing color slightly. So this is going to tell us when our tuna is ready. Once it gets around half point, that is when we're going to flip this one. So you can see here this line, how the juices are being released from the middle. This means that our heat has reached the midpoint. This is when we grab our tuna and we flip it around. So gently, make sure not to break it, and flip it around. And you can see in these openings how the heat has traveled up and how it's been cooking. So now that we flip this tuna, it is now time to add the ones that are going to be a little bit more raw. So we get oil around the whole pan. If you're missing oil, don't be afraid to add some more. Just let it heat up. We add our second tuna. Make sure you get rid of as much of the garlic and onion as you can, because we're going to use this for a sauce after. Let's put this one on. Put tuna number 2 on. They're on there. And we just want to sear them, so it's going to be a couple of seconds. Once you see that the bottom part has, let me show you here. Once you see this bottom part has formed a straight line and it's been seared, that's when we flip it. So this, we want to do it all the time in high heat. I had it medium, that's a mistake. So this one, as you can see now, it's almost completely filled. It's almost an even color. You can give it a couple of seconds more. So we're going to do the edges of this one, and we're going to plate it. So these are ready. Turn it around. This one, same thing. Green color on the bottom. Got it. Turn it around. This one we are going to sear the sides. Side. 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 See this color? This will want an even coloring all around it. Side. And side. Got this. Put it on our plate. These other tunas, you can sear the sides as well, or you can just plate it as is. I'm going to plate it. There's one. There's the second one. Now, lower the heat down to low as possible. And with everything that was left, the marinade, this is going to be our sauce to accompany our tunas. So we add it all. We let it boil for a while. You can even add, I'm going to add since this is quite dense, I'm going to add a bit of water to it. There we go. Now we can turn the heat back up. And here I have some roasted sesame seeds. What I'm going to do is I'm going to decorate our tuna throughout the edge. Just add a thin layer of sesame seeds all around it. Just like that. Put it back on the plate. And there it is. Once you plate it, you're done. You have your very simple but very fancy recipe to make tuna. So if you like this recipe, leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below of any other recipe you would like me to try.